You know, for all the hours I spent in the gym working and training, and Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have, I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.
And you hear that music, you know what time it is. It is time for On Deck with yours truly, host of the Maskell podcast, Charles Prodigy Richey right now. Get ready to get started on this Sunday night special here right now. In the world of sports, remember, I have moved on from ChicagolandSportsRadio.com. I'll be carrying this on a new time slot, either on Saturday or Sunday night. Still working the kinks out. Right now, we got a lot to get into today. Very good show today in this 1 hour special. We're going to be talking about not only the late Kobe Bryant, we just learned of his presenter going into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame this year, which was supposed to happen last year, but right now, very special man to induct Kobe Bryant, none other than Michael Jordan. You'll hear my thoughts on that a little bit later on. Plus, in the opening tip-off, Dwyane Wade, him joining some fellow athletes right now, some former Hall of Fame players who are got some minority stakes right now with some other teams right now. How much will he be able to make an impact with the Utah Jazz, not only on the court, but in the communities? From there, we also transition into NFL extra points for the final 2 seconds of the show. Beginning with right now is Mac Jones, the quarterback the Bears should consider trading up for in this year's draft. Still, a lot of fans are a little distrustful with quarterback. Adam Schefter seems to have a lot of praise for him. We'll get to that momentarily. And plus, also, too, in NFL extra points right now, how much is it a concern right now that the NFLPA is pushing to end voluntary off-season workouts? And then also, too, Brett Favre, who made some controversial comments last week about politics and sports. He doesn't want him. He made some comments about Colin Kaepernick with the flag, the kneeling. How much does this affect his legacy? You'll find out. Once again, you guys can follow me on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Prodigy Richey. For the Maskell podcast on Twitter, it is at MasteelCJR, and on Instagram at Masteel Nation. As we get ready to get into this right now, let's go ahead and begin with Dwyane Wade right now. According to Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN, who can be followed on Twitter and Instagram at WojESPN, three-time NBA champion Dwyane Wade has bought ownership stake with the Jazz, joining majority owner and governor of the Utah Jazz, Ryan Smith. He has to be joining fellow Hall of Fame players Grant Hill of the Atlanta Hawks, Shaquille O'Neal of the Sacramento Kings, and majority owner Michael Jordan of the Hornets. Max Johnson previously had 4% stock in the Lakers. Right now, Dwyane Wade, who has a daughter right now who's part of the LGBTQ community right there, he felt it was important for that reason to be a very representative in communities right now and taking a platform, which I applaud him, by the way. He was quoted saying, "This goes way beyond the dream. I had to just play basketball in the NBA," he told ESPN. I've seen Shaq do it in Sacramento. I've seen Grant Hill do it in Atlanta. I've seen Jordan do it in Charlotte. If this partnership is going to be anything like my relationship is with Ryan, there are going to be a lot of things that I want to be involved in, end quote. Unfortunately, people in my community don't get this opportunity. I do not take it lightly to have this opportunity to make real change. This is where you have to be at the top. And Ryan knows that. I'm thankful for him. And I know, too, that I bring a lot to this partnership outside just my basketball knowledge and skills. And you know what? Definitely very much applaud the NBA right there. They continue to prove why they're one of the best sports as far as like giving a lot more players opportunities beyond just the game of basketball. Not only that, but just also for players currently playing it right now. A lot of executives right now, board of governors, realize how vital they are to this game right here. And not only that, just trying to make an impact socially. I mean, you hear earlier too. I mean, like one of the things Brett Favre commented on last Sunday. You talk about the voting restrictions in the southern of Atlanta, Georgia, right now. I mean, when you take a look at it, I mean, it's sickening that we're getting to a point right now. I mean, call what it is, based on the last election that Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden. I mean, he's been one of the guys who's been stirring up the controversy or making the legitimate concerns that there's been a lot of illegal absentee uh, voting going on. And one of the things that they're doing right now in that section of Georgia, they're trying to cut it off during business hours. So basically, if you happen to be one of the people like in that area that's working past your shift, like say like an hour or two after ballots close, you're pretty much gonna like lose your right to vote. And we saw with Major League Baseball, they took a stand right now where they moved the All Star game, which is supposed to be scheduled to Atlanta, instead moved over the Coors Field in Colorado. Second All Star game since 1998. And you know what? It's very disturbing in a way when you look at it. I mean, when you see NBA athletes, especially these days, I mean, you look at everything that's been going on, where it's with George Floyd, Jacob Blake, everyone trying to make their voice heard. I mean, just for like well noble leadership purposes. They really do want to make impact. NBA has always been a phenomenal sport about like caring about the community. I mean, for a lot of years, and I feel like a guy like right now, Dwyane Wade, who happened to met Ryan Smith shortly after retirement. I find it very interesting right now that he's doing this with the Jazz and not so much the Miami Heat. Mickey Loomis, who's one of the executives of the Miami Heat, expressed his disappointment in Dwyane Wade doing that. But I'm just curious how he didn't get a chance to do it with the Miami Heat, who he's delivered 3 NBA championships. And he's going to eventually be a Hall of Famer soon in no time. And that's a little bit of a head scratcher. I don't know if that's, I don't know, or rubbing the nose from Pat Riley that that's still his town. Or like, you know, it's like we love you in the Heat organization, but you're not on that level with me yet, you know, to be sharing NBA ownership stock. I'm just a little bit baffled at personally. But again, I think a guy like Dwyane Wade, who's done a phenomenal stuff. He's even had a documentary himself. Don't forget last year here when they're in the city of Chicago for the 2020 All Star Game. Right before the heels of this coronavirus started becoming on the rise and got out of control, you saw everything right there. How much a lot of people spoke highly of him. Pat Riley, former teammates, even Shaquille O'Neal. Shout out to my guys of War Media, Josh Hicks, right there, Kyle Means, who does phenomenal reporting and writing for We Are Regal Radio, War Media. And take a look, I mean, how much he's like really represented, I mean, to this time. And to be honest, yeah, I really do feel like right now, Dwyane Wade, he makes most perfect sense. And given his character, also growing up in Chicago too, but I mean, just trying to grow his wings beyond the game of basketball. At the end of the day, I think with a guy like Dwyane Wade, it's very interesting how he's even like said too. Right now, he even said with regards to the Miami Heat, the respect that I have for that organization will not go anywhere. The love that I have for the Heat fans, that goes nowhere, he told ESPN. But this is about the next phase of my life as an investor, a businessman, an entrepreneur. For me, this is an interesting this is an opportunity to grow. He wants to be a contributor not only to the Jazz On Court Success, but becoming a cultural leader. Let me ask you guys something real quick. When you hear this news, anyone scratching their head like I am? I mean, that's not with the Miami Heat. But I mean, at the same time, congratulations to him right now. And we'll see how this goes. I mean, you see a lot of guys. I mean, look at Michael Jordan, who's tried for a lot of years, get ownership with an NBA team since his retirement. I don't think it began until like the late 2000s. I want to say since 08, 09, around there. But I mean, he's worked his butt off. I mean, say what you will about him being a horrible executive, but at the same time, he's a guy who always continues to try and give back to athletes, whether it's with his shoe business or trying to pass that message around of winning at all costs attitude, and which Michael Jordan is still viewed as one of the greatest of all time GOATs. And speaking of GOATs, Michael Jordan right now, let's swing things over to the LA Lakers, the late Kobe Bryant. Remember, whose life was taken away last year, tragically last year. Saddened to see him go. As we all remember the fateful day, which was on February 2nd, week before the Super Bowl, right there. As everyone will remember, him and his daughter, Gigi Gianna, were dead early that morning at the age of 41 and 13. Along with many passengers on that plane, uh, Kobe Bryant, who passed away, and Michael Jordan, who spoke as memorial since his death right there. And right now, I mean, a lot of the family has been very touched by that. And they chose Michael Jordan to present him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, if you think about it. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, Jordan, I think is like definitely hands down the no brainer here. But I would also thought too. I mean, given the off and on relationship with Shaquille O'Neal, I thought maybe Shaq would have been it too. Uh, at the end of the day, listen, I mean, Kobe Bryant was always trying to model his career after a guy like Michael Jordan and what he's wanted to do to follow in his footsteps. I mean, you remember like the legendary stories from Stephen A. Smith, who even said when he talked with Kobe Bryant, he even like bragged to Stephen A. that he would eat Jordan up, and Stephen A. called it bluff, like on Kobe Bryant, that he would actually dare say that about Michael Jordan. He even told Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan like even laughed and even said, "Yeah, that was true." I mean, you saw how much. I mean, they really did. I mean, you look at the moments they had. I mean, one of the earliest moments too, like aside from them playing Bulls Lakers, how about the All Star game, 1998 in Madison Square Garden, right there? They definitely both put on a show uh, that day, that night. I mean, yeah, Jordan did eventually go on to win the All Star MVP and also his final NBA championship and Finals MVP. But at the same time, too, I mean, Jordan was a guy who Kobe Bryant wanted to try and follow up so badly. He only had one MVP to Michael Jordan's five MVPs, five NBA championships to Michael Jordan's six. But at the same time, you look at the demeanor, the attitude they had. And when you look at a guy like Kobe Bryant, who went through a horrific time of his life, too, ever since that rape allegation he had back in 2003, he slowly started developing that Black Mamba mentality to channel his aggression on the court. There was a lot of times where people did not want to warm up to a guy like Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant wanted to make sure he carried and embodied that toughness, that mental makeup that Jordan had to go out there, attack, show no mercy, and to dominate, divide and conquer. And he did. I mean, it took a while to win some championships on his own. I mean, without Shaq, the guys like Robert Ory and people on that team that were stacked on there. I mean, under Phil Jackson, he was able to win a three-peat with Shaq and then back-to-back titles on his own in 2009, 2010. The most sweetest championship, I think you'd argue, was the one against the Boston Celtics back in 2010. First time ever you saw a Lakers team beat the Celtics team in a 7-game series of an NBA Finals, which never happened before. He did what no Laker did at that point in time. And to be honest with you, congratulations. And I couldn't be any more happier, more excited to see, Michael Jordan right now, be the one to induct Kobe Bryant at this time and see how the Hall of Fame speech is going to be. Because I'll be honest, that is definitely be a very special one, no doubt. And honestly, at the same time, it is just going to be truly an awesome honor right there. And I mean, I don't know about you, but where would you rank this Hall of Fame induction amongst the all-time greats? Don't forget, Magic Johnson, when he won the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2002, guess who he had induct him? I mean, his on the court rival and competitor, but also his off the court friend, Larry Bird. I still think that's probably one of the greatest of all time. I think this one's definitely going to be a lot more bittersweet because Kobe Bryant is no longer with us at the age of 41 since he went. And it's just a sad reminder. I mean, you see when he's gone, but at the same time, too, I mean, he's definitely paid his dues, left a significant impact for a guy like Jordan to like really care about him as a brother, as someone he was more honored to have try and follow in his footsteps. I mean, he was a guy who he always wanted to pick his brain, see how he wanted to like take people out or just go out and improve his dominance, finding that edge. And at the end of the day, I guess the last thing you could say about Kobe Bryant is Mamba out. So we're gonna go ahead take a quick break right here. You're watching and listening here to On Deck with me, Charles Prodigy Richey, as we get ready to look into stuff right now and all that other stuff right now. Hold on. Don't move a muscle.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!